Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I will show how to create a simple gym management application using object-oriented programming principles, Java and JavaFX. For this gym management system, I have created three main classes called default member, student member, and over 60 member. Default member.java class is the parent class of student member and Java over 60 member classes. In this class, I have these variables initiated as protected, and this is the construct of the default member class, and these are the getters and setters. Here in this start membership date variable, we have data type as day. This is not Java date object type, it's actually a date class. Here we have three variables in as year, month, and day, and this is the construct of this class. We check if the ranges are correct when the input is given, and these are the getters and setters. And moving on, this is the student member.java class, which extends the default member, which means it shares the values from all the values from the student default member class. This is the construct of this class, and it has its own unique variable called member school name. This is the super from the default member, and these are the getters and setters of the get member school variable. And this is the 60 member class, which is same as the student member. It extends the default member, and it has its own variable called age, construct, and getters and setters. So moving on, we have this mygymManager.java class, which contains all console menu functions. So mygymManager implements the gym manager, which is the interface of this simple application. Gym manager actually contains all the console menu functions, which is given through my gym manager. And first of all, I have created the database connection here. This is connection with the gym management system, and here I have created student collection variable called student collection to get all the records from the student member collections, and over 60 collection to get all the records from over 60 member collection. And next up, I have created these four variables to actually calculate the existing calculate the total of existing members in the current system. This is actually very useful to calculate the total number of the members before adding new members into the system. So next up, I have this array is called default member to add the details of the members into the system, and we have our first console method called add member, which is used to add new members into the database. As I said before, I have used those four variables to calculate the total number of existing records in the system. I have taken the record count from the student collection and over 60 collection, and calculate the total count, and calculated the remainder from the 100 and put it into the available count, and print all these results into the console to the manager's use. So based on this available count, if the count is under 100, I prompt this small menu to the console and get a user input from the manager. So after that, I have used the while loop. While the while is true, I take the membership ID from the manager and check if the ID is not equal to ID length is not equal to 0, or the length is not higher than 4, or if the ID is already existing in the current system. So if it passes all this validation, next up from the respective cases and get all the data required to fill out the columns in the table, and like that. So according to this use input from the manager, the system decide whether if it's a student member or the O6 member he is going to add into the system. So let's say he wants to add a new student member into the system. So next up we enter the school name and get the school name from the manager, and create instance of the student member class here, and pass all the values, pass it into the def member, the array list. And next up we create a basic DB object named as student member row, and pass all the values we got from the manager, and using getters into the respective column names, and insert them into the student collection. After the process is done, we prompt new student member added successfully into the console for the manager's use. So adding our sixth member into the system is just as same as adding a student member into the system. So if a manager fails to input a valid option from the given menu, we print out error invalid input and direct him again into the add member method. So all this happens only if there is space available in the system. So if there is no space available in system, we print out you cannot add more members to the system, maximum limit exceeded. So we have this check availability method. This is basically used to check the given membership ID from the manager already existing in the current database. So we created basic DB object called available query and put the membership num given from the manager into it, and take the count of the records equals to this statement, and put them into these variables, and check the student count. If the student count is higher than 0, or the over 60 count is higher than 0. If any of these means true, means that the ID already existing in the current database and the ID is not unique, so it can be used to add a new member into the system. So next up we have the delete member method. So same as the add member, I prompt a new small menu into the console for the manager's use, and take a manager input, and according to that input I decide which category of member to delete. So let's say manager inputs 1, that means we know we need to delete a student member. So according to that I print out all the student members from the collection into the console menu, and tell the manager to enter the respective members ID just as it's shown in the console menu, and take the value from the manager. So next off we check the entered membership ID length is not equal to 0, not higher than 4, and using the find student member record method, it's already existing in the current system. So if we manage to pass all these validations, next off we create a basic DB object for delete student and put the value given from the manager, and using that we delete the respective record from the student collection and prompt a message to the console saying selected student member has been deleted. So next off we take the count from the student collection of the current student members and print out a small text to the console saying remaining number of student members in the system are equals to this count. So deleting an over 60 member is same as deleting a student member. Same process happens here. Same as again in the add member, if the manager fails to input a valid input, we prompt error message and redirect him again to the delete member method. And here we have find student member records method and find over 60 member record method. Both of these are used to check if the given membership ID from the manager input already existing in the current DB collections. So next up we have the update member method. Again I prompt a small menu into the console and take a user input from the manager, and here I have created basic DB object called update records object to store the updating values. So according to the user manage input, I have to decide whether to update a student member or 60 member. So according to that, if let's say manager wants to update a student member, I print out all the student member records into the console menu again and ask for enter the membership ID of the student member again, and take manage input and creating a basic DB object called all object student and appending the value passed from the manager into the old object student as the membership number. So next off I prompt this menu to the console to ask the manager which variable that needs to be updated and take a user input from him again. According to this input, I have different cases, which is 8 cases to counter all the 8 these variables. So let's say if the manager wants to update the school of a student member, so we prompt the enter the new school name text and take the variable value from the manage and append the value into the update records object and update the student collection with this new value against this old value and break it. So if the manager fails to input one from these above cases, we print out invalid input and redirect him to the update member again. And if the above process is done successfully, we print out student member update successfully into the console. So this is the process of updating over 60 member. It is same as updating a student member. So yeah, if the manager fails to input another valid input from the selecting a member category. So we print out the invalid input and redirect into the update member method again. So this is the next console menu function called sort and print all members. In here I have two cursors. One cursor called cursor prints all students, which finds all the records from the student member collection and sort them according to the membership number, and other do the same thing to the over 60 collection. And next up I have print all the student members into the console using a while loop, and all the over 60 members into the console using a while loop. And next up we have the save to text file method. In this method what we are doing is taking all the records from the both collections and saving them into a plain text file. So in this try clause I have created again two cursors calling cursor student datasets and cursor O60 datasets, and this is the file part of the text file that the records will be added. This is the print writer, and I have created a datetime formatter just to put a timestamp of the when each time of the data is being saved to the file for users reference. So first of all I print out this text. Next off, using a while and a two-string format, I print out all the student member details, the records into the text file. Same goes for the all 60 members. And next I close the file, and here I have these two prompts into the console to let know the process is done. And if we fail to successfully finish this process, I have this catch clause selling error, fail to save the data into the system member data.txt. Next off, we have the open GUI method, which will open the manager GUI table when selected. And next we have this input menu method, which is kind of the main menu to the manager console, which will direct him into any of the console menu functions. As here in selection we have initialized. With get selection method we will get a manager input, and with that input according to each case we will direct him into the respective console menu method. And next off we have this load collections to list method. This is very important. This is the method that we use to gather all the collection data from the both collections of the database and put them into a list type of default member, and return them into the GUI for further use. So first of all we take the all the records from the student member into these two variables and check if the variables are null, means records have been passed or not. If they are, while they are not null, we send them through a for loop and add all the student member data into this list, and all the over 60 member data into the list, and return the list. And next off we have this main method of this mygymManager.java class. And first of all we have this variable called logout equals false. While logout is not false, we print out this and prompt the enter username and enter password text to the console, asking for password and a username from the manager before using any of the console menu functions. This is a simple validation method. So if manager fails to put the correct username or the password, we will print out login unsuccessful and lead him back to here. And if the manager gets the username and the password correct, he will be directed into this part, which will lead him into the interface. So let's go test out our system. Yeah, so this is the starting point. So we can see we have the enter username, and then we will, after we enter the username, we will get the enter password text. So before correctly logging into the system, we will check the what will it do when we give wrong login information. Yeah, so when we give wrong login information, it gives login unsuccessful and redirect us back to here. So let's give the correct information this time, which is username is gym manager and the password is gym123. So yeah, login successful. We are directed into the console menu. So we have our options here. Enter 1 to add a new member, enter 2 to remove a member, enter 3 to update a member, enter 4 to view all members, enter 5 to save existing member into a file, enter 6 to open manage GUI, and enter 7 to log out. So let's try these methods one by one. Let's add a new member. Yeah, so first print out this part. Number of student members logged into the system is 2. Number of all our system members logged into the system is 3. Total number of members currently logged into the system is 5. So the available slots are 95. So that means we can enter 95 more records into the system. So let's choose a student member to add into the system. So let's add a wrong input first. So the validation method is go to check if it's was 0 or higher than 4 and check if it's already existing in the system. So let's start by adding 1 files. So yeah, entered membership ID is not valid. Please follow the format again. Yeah, so that ID is not existing in system already, so we can proceed. So let's name new user, membership year as 2019, month as 11, date as 2, address as location, contact number as a random number, membership fee as a random number, true, school name as a school. Yeah, so as you can see, new student member added successfully. The process was successful, and we want to see the members. We can see all the members using view all members. So next off, we will test the delete member method. So just now we added this new member called new user. So let's try to remove that one from the system. Yeah, so as you can see, all available student members I have entered. I want to remove a student member, and it prints out all the remaining students members in the system. Currently we having 3 student members and new user. This is the newest one, the one we just added. So let's try to delete this one. Yeah, so as you can see, remaining number of student members in the system are 2. That means this record has been completely deleted. So let's try to update a new record. Let's update a student member again. Let's try to update this member's school as again Royal. I want to update Kevin's record, so I'll enter 1231. So I want to update his school, so let's say 8. I want to make it Royal. Yeah, so the student member updating was successful. So let's try viewing all the members. Yeah, so we can see there are only 2 members in the current existing system. There are 3 or 60 members, and just as we updated, the record has been updated. So let's try to add these members into a text file now. Yeah, saving data to the system member data txt, saving complete. So let's see if it's true and it has been updated. Yeah, this is the latest one. You can see the timestamp. So adding into the text file was successful. So we have checked out 5 methods out of 7. So let's test out the opening GUI. For this creating GUI, I have used JavaFX. So sorry, it's not responding. Yeah, so yeah, this is the GUI. As you can see, we have all the members displayed here, all the student members, all 60 members with their respective columns filled out. And as you can see, we have a search option here. We can search by name or ID. So let's start searching by name. Let's check Kevin. Yeah, so record search is working. Let's try Grover. Let's try non-next. Yeah, so it's not in the table. It shows no table, no content in table. So searching by name is working. So let's search by the ID. 1 2 3 1. Yeah, 1 2 1 3. Yeah, so we can search members throughout the system using the name and ID. So this is the member GUI. So we have tested out the all methods in the console menu. So we can log out now. So using 7. Yeah, we have logged out of the system. The console menu is working fine. Now I'd like to show how I created GUI, and this is the GUI class. This is public class, manage table view, extend applications. I have created table view to display table, and it extend the main parent class application. So I have created the instance of my gym manager here and created a private array list called default member, and this is the main method of this, and with the parameter of stage. First off, I have created member table view called member table view. Table view is the very type that we need to use to create a table view in JavaFX. So I have created a new table view and a new hbox. This will be used to create the search text field and search label in the future. And here these are the table columns in the table column string default member, new table column membership number, represent membership number, name, start member date. These using the set cell value factory and property value factory I have initialized there. And using member table view get columns, add all columns, I have add all these columns into the table. And here this is the label of the search bar. I have created a label called search label and named it as search for members, and these are the font type and the style. And this is the search text field. Text field is called search text, and the default prompt text is search name by ID. This is the size, and this is the event handling of the search operation. First of all, I have created observable list called type of default member called search data list, and I have put the data list as in my gym manager load collection to list from the my gym manager load collection to list method. The returning list will be passed as the data records into this observable list. Using this observable list, and I have created the filtered list of default member type, and using this filtered list and text field ID and text property and listener, I have created a predicate to according to whenever is the filter is changed. So using filter data set predicate default member, if the search text is not changed, which means the area is a null value, it will show all the member records in the table. In other cases, like if the member type in a name or ID, it will go through these clauses like get name, get name in the default member, which means in the filtered data list, and check out if there are any similar records to with containing name given in this getter, and same goes for this get membership now. So in simple form, if the it checks if there is any records with given name or ID in the filtered data, and return true if the operation found any similar records, and false if it doesn't find any similar records. So that's how the event handling works. After that, I have created a sorted list of default member type and passed the filtered data list into the, and in here I have passed default this is the default member class array I have created to receive all the data from the gym manager load collection to list records. So if there is no records, it will put a exception called error type P, which will print out in the console. So if the default, if this managed to successfully add all the records into the default member array, we can proceed into this if statement. If default member is not empty, the member table view, which is the table view, will set items to its column using the sorted list data, which means using this sorted list. So this is the stage, which means the window. In JavaFX, stage means the window, scene means the area we are creating light. In this stage set title, the title will be, this title will be set on the as the web GUI's title. This is the window width, and in this search area, which was the H box we have created before, it will get children add all the search label, which was the label, and search text, which is the text field. And we have created VBox named main VBox. In that VBox, I have added the H box and the table view into that. I have set the spacing to 5 and padding top, bottom and right. And we have created a new scene and set the main VBox as the scene, and in the stage set scene location I have set the main scene as the scene, and I have used the stage.show to print out this whole scene, which means the table and table data. So this is how I have created a simple web gym management system using object-oriented programming principles, Java and JavaFX. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.